Hello. Simba? No. So, tonight I'm gonna be taking a break from Harry Potter. I think I'm gonna pick the Harry Potters back up in October because I just went on NetGalley and got approved for a lot of arcs, and I just got approved for the new book in the Schythe series, so I want to do a reread of that and get that going. Hey, Simba! My cat. So, one day he's going to learn that cats are lactose intolerant. Thank you for the likes. Just prepping my tabs here before I read. But yeah, oh my god, I was so excited. I requested it, didn't think I was going to get it on NetGalley, and I wake up and I find that my request was approved. God, I screamed, and I was like, I scared my fiance, and he was like, what are you screaming about? It's like, I got approved for the art copy of the new Schythe, the new book Gleanings in the Schythe series that I love. And he's like, so you're screaming about that? I was like, yeah, do you know how hard it is to get popular arcs? And he's like, you and your books. And I was like, you and your movies. And so, yeah. But right now I'm just prepping. So yeah, I do tab. So sorry. It'll be a minute before I start reading. I normally have this all set, but I had like a chunk of these just set aside. And I need to get them situated. Okay. But yeah, how's everybody's day been going? I mean, today's kind of gloomy here in Georgia. I think it rained some here. Well, thank you for joining. Hi, Great Baller 1425. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I'm kind of excited because I think this one was, the new book, Gleanings, was co-authored with his son, if I'm not mistaken. So, that's got to be fun, you know. Father-son project. Shoot. There. Wrong way. Thank you. Yellow. Green. Dark green. Simba, don't you dare. I swear this cat is gonna kill himself. Get out of there. Just swear. Alrighty. So I'm done with that. Yep. I'm gonna go down. Alrighty. So yeah, so he's written a lot. Like there's a lot of books that this man's written. I think he's most famous for the Unravel series. or Unwind series, yeah, the Unwind histology, but this cat, I swear this cat. But without further ado, let's get to reading. Okay. Just right over here. Ow. Cat's gonna go haywire with this cord. Alrighty. Part 1. Robe and Ring. We must by law keep a record of the innocents we kill. And as I see it, they're all innocents, even the guilty. Everyone is guilty of something, and everyone still harbors a memory of childhood innocence, no matter how many layers of life wrap around it. Humanity is innocent. Humanity is guilty. And both states are undeniably true. We must by law keep a record. It begins on day 1 of apprenticeship, but we do not officially call it killing. It's not socially or morally correct to call it such. It is, and has always been, gleaning. Named for the way the poor would trail behind farmers in ancient times, taking the stray stalks of grain left behind. It was the earliest form of charity. A scythe's work is the same. Every child is told from the day he or she is old enough to understand that the scythes provide a crucial service for society. Ours is the closest thing to a sacred mission the modern world knows. Perhaps that is why we must, by law, keep a record. A public journal testifying to those who will never die and those who are yet to be born, as to why we human beings do the things we do. We are instructed to write down not just our deeds, but our feelings, because it must be known that we do have feelings, remorse, regret, sorrow too great to bear. Because if we didn't feel those things, what monsters would we be? From the Gleaning Journals of H.S. Curie. Chapter 1. No Dimming of the Sun. The scythe arrived late on a cold November afternoon. Schythe was at the dining room table, slaving over a particularly difficult algebra problem, shuffling variables, unable to solve x for y or y, when this new and far more pernicious variable entered her life's equation. Guests were frequent in the Terranovas' apartment, so when the doorbell rang, there was no sense of foreboding, no dimming of the sun, no foreshadowing of the arrival of death at their door. Perhaps the universe should have deigned to provide such warnings, but scythes were no more supernatural than tax collectors in the grand scheme of things. They showed up, did their unpleasant business, and were gone. Her mother answered the door. Schythe didn't see the visitor, as he was at first hidden from her view by the door when it opened. What she saw was how her mother stood there, suddenly immobile, as if her veins had solidified within her. As if, were she tipped over, she would fall to the floor and shatter. May I enter, Miss Terranova? The visitor's tone of voice gave him away, resonant and inevitable, like the dull toll of an iron bell, confident in the ability of its peal to reach all those who needed reaching. Schythe knew before she even saw him that it was a scythe. My God, a scythe has come to our home? Yes, of course. Come in. Schythe's mother stepped aside to allow him entry, as if she were the visitor and not the other way around. He stepped over the threshold, his soft slipper-like shoes making no sound on the parquet floors. His multi-layered robe was smooth ivory linen, and although it reached so low as to dust the floor, there was not a spot of dirt on it anywhere. A scythe, Schythe knew, could choose the color of his or her robe, every color except for black, for it was considered inappropriate for their job. Black was the absence of light, and scythes were the opposite, luminous and enlightened. They were acknowledged at the very best of humanity, which is why they were chosen for the job. Some scythe robes were bright, some more muted. They looked like rich, flowing robes of Renaissance angels, both heavy yet lighter than air. The unique style of the scythe robes, regardless of the fabric and color, made them easy to spot in public, which made them easy to avoid, if avoidance was what a person wanted. Just as many were drawn to them. The color of the robe often said a lot about the Schythe's personality. This Schythe's ivory robe was pleasant and far enough from true white not to assault the eye with its brightness, but none of this changed the fact of who and what he was. He pulled off his hood to reveal neatly cut gray hair, a mournful face, red-cheeked from the chilly day, and dark eyes that seemed themselves almost to be weapons. Citra stood, not out of respect, but out of fear. Shock. She tried not to hyperventilate. She tried not to let her knees buckle beneath her. They were betraying her by wobbling, so she forced fortitude to her legs, tightening her muscles. Whatever the Schythe's purpose here, he would not see her crumble. "You may close the door," he said to Citra's mother, who did so, although Citra could see how difficult it was for her. A Schythe in the foyer could still turn around if the door was open. The moment that door was closed, he was truly inside one's home. He looked around, spotting Citra immediately. He offered a smile. "Hello, Citra," he said. The fact that he knew her name froze her just as solidly as his appearance had frozen her mother. "Don't be rude," her mother said too quickly. "Say hello to our guest." "Good day, Your Honor." "Hi," said her younger brother, Ben, who had just come to his bedroom door, having heard the deep peal of the Schythe's voice. Ben was barely able to speak at the one-word greeting. He looked at Citra and to their mother, thinking the same thing they were all thinking. Who has he come for? Will it be me, or will it be left to suffer the loss? "I smelled something inviting in the hallway," the Schythe said, breathing in the aroma. "Now I see I was right in thinking it came from this apartment." "Just Bakesy, Your Honor. Nothing special." Until this moment, Citra had never known her mother to be so timid. "That's good," said the Schythe, "because I require nothing special." Then he sat on the sofa and waited patiently for dinner. Was it too much to believe that the man was here for a meal and nothing more? After all, Schythes had to eat somewhere. Customarily, restaurants never charged them for food, but that didn't mean a home-cooked meal was not more desirable. There were rumors of Schythes who required their victims to prepare them a meal before being gleaned. Is that what was happening here? Whatever his intentions, he kept to himself, and they had no choice but to give him whatever he wanted. Will he spare a life here today if the food is to his taste? Citra wondered. No surprise that people bent over backward to please Schythe in every possible way. Hope in the shadow of fear is the world's most powerful motivator. Citra's mother brought him something to drink at his request, and now labored to make sure tonight's dinner was the finest she had ever served. Cooking was not her specialty. Usually, she would return home from work just in time to throw something quick together for them. Tonight, their lives might just rest on her questionable culinary skills. And their father? Would he be home in time, or would a gleaning in his family take place in his absence? As terrified as Citra was, she did not want to leave the Schythe alone with his own thoughts, so she went into the living room with him. Ben, who was clearly as fascinated as he was fearful, sat with her. The man finally introduced himself as the Honorable Schythe Faraday. The cat's out here, baby. He's laying down. Go play in your room. Go play in your room, please. Oh, you want a kiss? Okay. Love you.
What are you doing?
I'm reading. What are you doing? I know you like reading.
Oh, where am I? Where go?
Where to what? Let me go play, okay?
Where go?
After I read 2 more chapters, I'm gonna make dinner, okay?
Why?
Because you need to eat supper.
Why?
Because you gotta eat.
What are you doing?
I'm getting some water.
I love Florida.
You have your own water in your cup.
I see a cup.
Yep, that's my big cup.
A colors on it.
Yeah, there's multiple colors. There's blue,
Blue,
white,
white,
purple.
purple.
Whose favorite color is purple?
Purple.
Yeah. Do you know someone with a favorite color of purple?
What? Yes.
Mine's blue.
I see a blue.
Daddy's purple.
There's a purple.
And yours is green.
My green.
Okay. Sorry about that. Why don't you go play, okay?
That's why.
'Cause after I fix dinner here shortly, you're gonna have to go to get ready for bed.
That's why.
'Cause,
Oh,
you okay?
I'm okay.
Want me to kiss it?
No.
Okay. Right. Well, go play, okay? Please, go play.
I'm hungry.
Oh, God. Okay. Ah!
See you, Mommy.
Here you go.
Yes, Mom.
All right. As terrified as Schythe was, she did not want to leave the Schythe alone with his own thoughts, so she went into the living room with him. Ben, who was clearly as fascinated as he was fearful, sat with her. The man finally introduced himself as Honorable Schythe Faraday. I did a report on Faraday for school once, Ben said, his voice cracking only once. You picked a pretty cool scientist to name yourself after. Schythe Faraday smiled. I'd like to think I chose an appropriate, patron, historic. Like many scientists, Michael Faraday was underappreciated in his life, yet our world would not be what it is without him. I think I have you in my Schythe card collection, Ben went on. I have almost all the mid-American Scythes, but you were younger in the picture. The man seemed perhaps 60, and although his hair had gone gray, his goatee was still salt and pepper. It was rare for a person to let themselves reach such an age before resetting back to a more youthful self. Citra wondered how old he truly was. How long had he been in charge with ending lives?